Blog Talk Radio.
Paranormal Review Radio.
Hello and welcome to Paranormal Review Radio, the only paranormal show on Blog Talk Radio that discusses a variety of topics with facts, opinions, and fun. We don't claim to be experts in the field, but rather everyday people who want to learn and express everything paranormal. We bring you theories on both sides of the topic and let you, the listener, make up your own minds. My name is Anthony Agati, broadcasting from New York City, and my co-host from Chicago is Lucy Liefried. Lucy, why don't you say hello to our listeners and give them some info?
Hi, Anthony. Hi, everyone. Boy, do we have a special show for you tonight. Our phone lines are open, so give us a call. Our show number is 661-244-9831. You will need that number tonight. The phone lines are open throughout the entire show, so join the conversation. If you don't feel like calling in, our chat room is open, so post your comments, questions, or feel free to further the discussion with other members. Now, don't forget we have a Facebook page, Paranormal Review Radio. Stop by and visit to learn more about tonight's show. Anthony, please tell everyone why they will need that phone number tonight.
Thanks, Lucy. Actually, we've got quite a few callers in the queue right now. Seems like Justin is very popular tonight, which we're all excited about. So I just wanted to let the callers know to please hold on. We're going to get to Justin in a little bit. But tonight we're going to talk all about psychics and mediums. We want to take a look at the history and the present and the future of people who make up this ever-growing group. We also have a special guest tonight, which I just mentioned. In a top 25 poll, he was voted one of the best psychics in America. He is one of the top 30 in the world. Justin Chase Mullins will be joining us tonight, and he will be doing one-question readings for the Paranormal Review Radio listeners. Justin's going to join us later on in the show. So, Lucy, polish up that crystal ball of yours and begin with our review of psychics and mediums.
Okay. Well, since the beginning of time, there have been those who believe that psychic phenomena are real and that psychics and mediums have a genuine gift. There have also been many detractors, those who do not believe that these individuals are any more gifted than anyone else, and that unexplained phenomena are either simply fabricated or they're not yet understood by science. Now, the debate between these perspectives continues to this day. In the midst of this, the field of parapsychology studies these phenomena as well as the wide variety of psychic abilities that people have claimed for centuries. Now, some experts feel that everyone has some psychic ability, whether you call it a sixth sense or intuition or gut instincts. But most psychics are somehow sensitized to the energy emanating from electrical or magnetic fields. Other psychics are able to tap into the emotional or physical aspect of these energy fields. Unfortunately, there are no sure guidelines that can be followed to prove that someone is psychic or not. Other professionals, which include physicians, lawyers, and politicians, are held by certain ethical and educational standards that make it easier to determine whether they are capable of performing the duties that they state they can. With a psychic, it's not so simple. Now, many law enforcement agencies throughout the world employ the services of a psychic to help solve difficult cases. Is this hocus pocus or reality? Television shows also abound on psychics who help solve such cases. Different cultures throughout the history of humankind each have their own beliefs about such claims. So do such seeds of commonality provide a sense of ethereal truth? Parapsychology is a complicated field, one fraught with dealing with and uncovering truths and superstitions that have been passed down from one generation to another for centuries. Parapsychologists have attempted to devise psychic tests in order to determine definitive answers to the question of credibility. Throughout the world, scientists have developed tests that hope to uncover the truth about powers that some people have, psychic or not, that can't be logically explained. Okay, so what exactly is a psychic? Well, a psychic is someone who is sensitive to information or phenomena that is outside the sensory awareness of most people. So what does that look like? Most of us perceive information through our 5 physical senses: sight, hearing, smell, touch, and taste. Most of us perceive sensory input similar to each other within a specific range based on the makeup of our physical bodies as human beings. A psychic is able to distinguish information beyond this normal range, originating in the non-physical or supernatural realms. A psychic is sensitive to the electrical, magnetic, and other energies emanating from the individual. That's known as the aura. A psychic is able to access information from the emotional, physical, and spiritual parts of the auric field. As the aura contains all the information about a person's life, psychic readings can be very accurate. A psychic uses the natural ability to be aware of nonverbal communications such as body language, facial expression, dress, sense, etc. A psychic is able to sense on purely a material level and is not able to tune into the spirit world except by accident. Now, all mediums are psychics, but not all psychics are mediums. Tarot cards, runes, palmistry are all tools used in conjunction with this natural ability. In the lingo of the psychic world, extrasensory perception is divided into 4 different psychic abilities: telepathy, psychokinesis, clairvoyance, and precognition. Telepaths have the ability to sense thoughts and feelings of others, and sometimes even the ability to send their own thoughts into the minds of others. Now, clairvoyant has the ability to see things or to find out facts about someone or something that others can't, without being supplied any prior information. A psychokinetic has the ability to influence physical matter, like bending spoons. Someone gifted in precognition is able to see the near or far future and events before they take place, almost as if they're dreaming them. Now, there are some moral obligations that come in line with being a psychic. A psychic can subconsciously calculate possible future events by an assessment of information available by the natural course of events and give probable forecasts. All psychics should adhere to a code of conduct that is not predicting and not frightening people with talk of falls or accidents or even loss of loved ones.
All right, so what is a medium? A medium provides evidence of survival of the human personality beyond the physical state we call death. They are the link between the two worlds, communicating with people who have passed on through mind-to-mind contact. Famous mediums like James Van Praagh was asked about being a medium on his website, and he says, everyone is a psychic to some degree or another, but not everyone is a medium. A medium is a psychic who has fine-tuned his or her extrasensory perception and can interface with the spirits in other dimensions. They're able to feel and or hear thoughts, voices, or mental impressions from the spirit world. A medium is able to become completely receptive to the higher frequency or energies on which spirits people vibrate. Mediumship is much more involved than psychicism, because a medium is opening themselves to a discernant energy. Mediumship itself can be broken down into 2 distinct categories. The first and most common type is mental mediumship. No, I'm not talking about mental. As the word mental denotes, this form of mediumship utilizes the mind, the intuitive mind, not the rational or logical part. This type of mental mediumship falls into several distinct types, which are described as clairsentience, which is clear feeling. They perceive information by way of strong, emphatic feelings and emotions from the spirit. Clairvoyant, which means clear vision. They see with the mind's eye. They see with the mind's eye objects, colors, symbols, people, spirits, or scenes. These pictures are not visible to the naked eye and usually flash into the medium's mind. Clairaudient, which basically means clear hearing, they perceive sounds or words from sources broadcasting from a spiritual realm. Clairempathy, which means clear emotion, it's sort of like the sense or feel within oneself the attitude or emotions of another person. Clairgustance means clear tasting. It's sort of the discern the essence of the substance through taste from a spirit. Clairscent, which means clear smelling. It's the smell of a fragrance or odor coming from the spirit. Clairtangency, which means clear touching, and this ability is commonly known as psychometry. By holding an object or touching an area, you perceive information about the article or its owner or history through the palms of your hands. The second type of mediumship is physical mediumship, and it differs from mental mediumship. In physical mediumship, the actual physical body is used to get information from the spirit. In mental mediumship, only the mind of the medium is utilized. Channeling is a well-known form of physical mediumship. A trance medium is another type of physical medium. A trance medium is someone who goes into a trance state to relay messages from the other side. Certain individuals are more prone to mediumship than others. Usually they must develop mediumship skills over a period of time. There is another term that is used, and that is psychic medium. What is a psychic medium? This is a term that has recently come into common usage, meaning someone who works both as a psychic and a medium, since all true mediums have psychic abilities anyway, so the term can be somewhat misleading.
Okay, Anthony, as I mentioned before, the moral obligations that a psychic should have. So I think what we need to do is also mention another issue. And from time to time, there are stories about people stating that they've been told by a psychic they have some kind of evil entity or curse on them that is preventing them from being successful in love, money, and even health. Now, usually following this statement, they will offer their services to rid you of this entity or curse for a hefty fee. Never, ever do that, okay? We all have disappointing love affairs, letdowns, sporadic depressions, and money problems from time to time. This is called life and living the human condition. There is nothing wrong with going to a reputable psychic and having them doing a reading to offer guidance. But this other situation is a fishing expedition from an unknown and more than likely uncredible psychic. Even if a psychic could see an entity in your energy field, no payment of service is going to remove it. Psychics sense beyond the ordinary senses, but a reputable one will never say that they can eradicate the entity or curse. If we are so negative that we've attracted a negative being, then some hard questions need to be asked in the first place as to how this happened. It's not normal to have dark forces cling to us so deeply that this effect surfaces in our life. Remember, like attracts like. This, of course, is different from being in a place that is already occupied with a dark spirit, such as a haunted house. Now, in that case, we can simply remove ourselves from the location. There is no hard evidence that curses are real. Humans generally create their own misery and don't need demons and curses to blame their situation on. If we're in a mess, then we probably should spend more time looking at how we got there. More than ill luck, it's usually poor planning, procrastination, lack of self-control, or the inability to make changes when a change is needed. It would be so easy to say that it's a curse, and then poof, it's lifted and life is good. More than likely, it's bad judgment or lack of planning that has created the situation. And after you've paid the cash for the curse removal, you're going to find that you're still stuck with it. If anything, a curse is a fear tactic used by the person giving the curse. Who wouldn't feel a little nervous if some little old woman with a gnarled finger and a sharp nose shouted some curse at us? But this is old ideas and old beliefs, and that should be put back on the bookshelf along with the one about Hansel and Gretel. Psychics give guidance, not cures. There is no real cure outside of yourself when it comes to personal development. Even a therapist is going to make you walk through your own life steps and make the behavioral modifications needed to improve your situation. The work is always placed on us. When we give our power away, we're not acknowledging this, and in the end, we'll be taken advantage of and no better off. Now, if you feel you're the victim of a curse or a negative being, there is plenty of material online and for free about how to eradicate this through positive thoughts, light work, healing the blocked or damaged chakras that may have caused the opening, and so on. In other words, you have all the power you need to fix this yourself.
Lucy, we should cover a bit of the history. Elaborate systems of divination and fortune-telling date back to actual ancient times. Perhaps the most widely known system of early civilization fortune-telling was astrology, where practitioners believed the relative positions of bodies could lend insight into people's lives and even predict their future circumstances. Some fortune tellers were said to be able to make predictions without the use of these elaborate systems, or sometimes in conjunction with them, through some sort of direct apprehension or vision of the future. These people were known as seers or prophets, and in latter times as clairvoyants and psychics. Seers formed a functionary role in early civilization, often serving as advisors, priests, and even judges. A number of examples are included in biblical accounts. The book of Samuel, chapter 9, illustrates one such functionary task when Samuel was asked to find the donkeys of the future King Saul. The role of the prophet appeared perennially in ancient cultures. In Egypt, the priests of Ra at Memphis acted as seers. In ancient Assyria, seers were referred to as Nabu, meaning to call or announce. The Delphic oracle is one of the earliest stories in classical antiquity of prophetic abilities. The Pythia, the priestess presiding over the oracle of Apollo at Delphi, was believed to be able to deliver the prophecies inspired by Apollo during rituals beginning in the 8th century BC. It is often said that Pythia delivered oracles in a frenzied state induced by vapors rising from the ground, and that she spoke gibberish, believed to be the voice of Apollo, which priests reshaped into the enigmatic prophecies preserved in Greek literature today. Other scholars believe records from the time indicate that Pythia spoke intelligibly and gave prophecies in her own voice. The Pythia was a position served by a succession of women probably selected from amongst the guild of priestesses of the temple. The last recorded response was given in 393 AD when the Emperor Theodosius I ordered pagan temples to cease operation. Recent geological investigations raise the possibility that ethylene gas caused the Pythia state of inspiration. One of the most enduring historical references to what some consider to be psychic ability is the prophecies of Michel de Nostradam, often Latinized to Nostradamus, and it was published during the French Renaissance period. Nostradamus was a French apothecary and seer who wrote collections of prophecies that have since become famous worldwide and have rarely been out of print since his death. He is best known for his book, Les Prophéties, the first edition of which appeared in 1555. Taken together, his written works are known to have contained at least 6,338 quatrains of prophecies, as well as at least 11 annual calendars. Most of the quatrains deal with disasters such as plagues, earthquakes, wars, floods, invasions, murders, droughts, and battles, and all undated. Nostradamus is a controversial figure. His many enthusiasts, as well as the popular press, credit him with predicting many major world events. Interest in his work is still considerably, especially in the media and in popular culture. By contrast, most academic scholars maintain that the associations made between world events and Nostradamus' quatrains are largely the result of misinterpretations or mistranslations, sometimes deliberate, or else are so tenuous as to render them useless as evidence of any genuine predictive power. In addition to the belief that some historical figures were endowed with the predisposition to psychic experiences, some psychic abilities were thought to be available to everyone on occasion. For example, the belief in prophetic dreams was common and persistent in many ancient cultures. In the mid-19th century, modern spiritualism became prominent in the United States and the United Kingdom. The movement's distinguishing feature was the belief that the spirits of the dead could be contacted by mediums to lend insight to the living. The movement was fueled in part by stories of psychic powers. One such person believed to have extraordinary abilities was Daniel Douglas Home, who gained fame during the Victorian period for his reported ability to levitate to various heights and speak to the dead. By the late 20th century, psychics were commonly associated with New Age culture. Psychic readings and advertising for psychics was very common in the 1990s, and readings were offered for a fee and given in settings such as over the phone, in a home, or at a psychic fair.
Wow, Anthony. That brings us up to now. One of those gifted individuals has agreed to join us tonight. Yes, I'm talking about Justin Chase Mullins. Justin is a renowned psychic medium, a writer, and a paranormal investigator. He has been published in Visions Paramag with articles on psychic dreaming and paranormal communication risks. The article included insights from Donna LaCroix, formerly of Ghost Hunters, Deb and Mark Constantino of Ghost Adventures fame. He was the second American psychic to qualify for inclusion in the National Register of America's Best and Most Trusted Psychics and Healers in National Rank Order 2012. He will also be part of a psychic book written by Maximilien de Lafayette. Now, this book is going to be published in March 2012. Justin was voted one of the best American psychics in America, and in another separate poll, he was voted as the 17th best psychic in America in a top 25 poll by the public in UFO at Supernatural magazine. Now, from an early childhood, Justin encountered spirits and had paranormal experiences. He witnessed shadows running around the house, moving in and out of closets. He began to see spirits in all senses. He can recall setting up investigations, taking flashlight and whatever toys he could find, trying to make contact and find the truth. He saw different energies, angels, had empathic feelings that were at times hard to control. Justin was born in 1981 in Clintwood, Virginia. He went to Mountain Empire Community College, and he holds 2 degrees from the University of Phoenix. He works with paranormal teams as a consultant, providing his input on investigations. His largest body of work consists with his psychic readings and spirit contact. Justin routinely works with other sensitives to develop and control abilities. His abilities are clairsentience, empathy, clairvoyance, clairaudience. He believes in using meditation to control and develop one's abilities. And Justin is available for events, lectures, radio, and television. And to contact him, please email him at justinchasemullins@gmail.com. So on that, I would like to welcome Justin to the show.
Hi, Justin. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Justin.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. How about you all?
We're fine. Welcome to Paranormal Review Radio. We're so excited that you're here.
Well, great. I'm excited to be here tonight.
Awesome. You know what, Justin, I'd like to start the questioning with a couple of things that we had come up with. Basically, I'm sure all psychics hang around with each other, and they each all know about themselves. So can you please tell us, does Chip Coffey always wear that scarf around his neck?
I swear, I would think so. I've never seen a picture without him wearing it.
So when did you first really feel you had psychic abilities?
Well, that was at about the age of 3 or 4 years old. They came to me in the form of dreams. The first dream that I could recall, it involved a woman just running in the woods from a forest that couldn't be seen, and she ran into a cave, and she fell through. And then from there, a couple of years later, I had 2 more dreams that were just very gruesome, and I was probably at about 5 or 6 years old. The first dream, it involved a judge and his family, and I dreamed that the judge was shot in the kneecap and that the family was murdered. And then another dream, and then I had another dream about a woman in a blue trailer, and she was actually cut down her chest. And again, I was about 5 or 6 years old. And then just at a very young age, I did have experiences with shadows running around the house. I would see things in and out of the closet, and I also had just a very intense emotional feelings. I picked up on just other people's emotions. And then from that point, I had another dream that really just opened things up. I was in college, and I dreamed that a former high school classmate of mine, that he murdered his family. And in a dream, I was actually in the house with him. And the next day, I woke up and found out that he murdered his family.
Wow. So, Justin, since all these abilities started at such a young age, I mean, how did you deal with that?
Well, I mean, it was just very rough. It made things like sports be a challenge, because I had so many of these abilities just starting to open up, and I found myself just really nervous and just very anxious. I was playing in front of crowds as far as sports goes. And I thought, at a very young age, just that seeing ghosts were just normal and that everybody was like me.
Wow.
Wow. So, Lucy, you had mentioned in your intro, and Justin, that you had gone to college and you had an education in communications and criminal justice. Has that education or that background in that education actually helped your psychic abilities, or has your psychic abilities helped you in pursuing the communications and criminal justice degrees?
Well, I mean, which it has helped. Mainly, I really like to write, and the communications degree has opened up some things as far as just writing magazine articles. And then from a criminal justice background, that sort of helps me on investigations, and as far as cold cases goes and missing person cases, it gives me another perspective.
So did you get into criminal justice background because of the abilities? Did that sort of incite you to go into it because, both areas are pretty much sort of that quote-unquote investigative nature?
Yeah, to be honest, it's just always been a calling. If for some reason I felt drawn to criminal justice, and to be honest, I've never fired a gun. I had no desire to ever have a firearm, but I was just very drawn into the criminal justice field, and I have a degree. I was a master's degree, actually. Right,
okay, wow. So, this is one question I'm going to ask you that I'm sure everybody wants to know. How did you become the 17th best psychic in America?
Well, just one of the main things is just to practice and just to meditate. I really started to just read people. I had an experience. It was probably a couple of years ago, and it was another dream. But a friend of mine, he passed away in a car wreck, and he came to me in the dream, and he was standing outside of a silver gate, and he spoke without his mouth moving, and he told me to tell his family that he's okay. And then from there, I just really, I knew that I had the capability to speak with spirits just while being awake. So I started to just read people, and I read as many people as I could, and even throughout parts of last year, I didn't charge for readings because I wanted to just keep on practicing and to get better. And that's just one of my big beliefs, is just that practice is just everything.
So did UFO at Supernatural Magazine reach out to you, or did you apply to be considered into this, this poll reading to become the 17th best?
Yeah, that poll, it was something that I heard about through another a psychic, and it's actually the public's vote, and the public voted me in to be in the top 25.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's great. That's great. So what has been the most rewarding experience as a psychic medium? What sort of stood out to you that you can say right now that's sort of been the most rewarding time as being a psychic medium?
Well, I just love to be able to help people. And at a young age, I always felt that I was special, and I just didn't know how or why, and I always knew that I could make a difference in the world. And just being able just to really help clients who lost loved ones, just to really reconnect with them and to have that satisfaction to know that their loved ones are in a good place and a safe place. That's been the best experience.
Mm. Have you ever had any sort of, has having the psychic abilities ever frightened you or made you scared about anything? Has anything come about within either it be a reading or, being alone in your home or having these dreams? Has anything ever sort of frightened you or made you afraid of having these abilities?
Yeah, there's a couple of stories, actually. I've helped people who's had negative entities in their home, and I've done remote viewing to sort of see what's going on there. And there's been a few people who's had a demonic haunting, and I've had the darker forces actually kind of threaten me, and they've told me to back off.
Really?
And at times, if it comes down to them making threats to my family, I'm going to back off because I just don't want to risk that.
Mhm.
Wow. Justin, I've always been curious to know that if psychic mediums can actually see and communicate with angels. And I actually know that other psychic mediums say that they do. So I want to ask you, do you actually see angels?
I do. And there's actually a really great story about this. It was last year, and I was seeing this girl, and her grandfather, he was really sick, and we knew that he was going to pass away soon. So I used abilities of remote viewing, and I wanted to see just what was going on. And I saw just like this yellow light in the hospital with him. And the light told me that he's passing right now. And she got a phone call within 5 minutes, and he passed away.
Aww. So, Justin, let's go back to your childhood, okay? You said that at a young age you started investigating the paranormal. So when was that? How old were you, and how did that all start?
Well, I was probably at about 7 or 8 years old, and to be honest, I've always been a fan of the movie Ghostbusters, so I had all of these cool toys, and I would go and try to find the ghost. And there was one cool thing that happened. I was probably about 10 years old. There was this haunted house in town, and at the time it was abandoned, and everybody was afraid of the house, so I went to the house, and on this big wall, I took one of the rocks, and then I tossed the rock inside of a creek, and then within about 10 minutes later, there was a shopping store above the creek, and the car actually fell off the side, and it landed where the rock was.
Wow. So when you're investigating the paranormal, are you able to use your psychic and your medium abilities? Basically, what I'd like to know is, do you rely on technical equipment, or do you just go with your senses?
Well, I like to use a combination of things. I use a K2 meter. I use an EMF, and I also use a digital recorder. One of my favorite things is just the K2, and I love to just see if the spirits can turn on the second light or the third light, and I love to try to capture EVPs. That's just really amazing to have evidence to sort of provide confirmation of what I'm feeling.
So in your investigations, have you encountered any negative entities?
Yeah, I have encountered a few. There was one investigation in particular that just all of our equipment, it was going through the roof, and we actually had EVPs of just different children talking, and I was upstairs with another investigator, and I had a temperature gun, and every time that I tried to capture the temperature, I was getting 666. So we tried an experiment, and I said a prayer, and her forehead just started burning, and we just got extremely hot. So I decided to walk down the hallway with another investigator, and I looked, and I saw my shadow. It was a shadow next to me. I thought it was mine, but then it changed to something that just looked really deformed.
Wow. So when you come in contact with these negative entities, is there anything in particular that you do personally that helps you deal with it?
Well, I just try to stay calm. I don't show fear. And, I mean, if I'm actually on site with an investigation, I just really try to stay calm. I try to stay grounded, and I do that by just imagining that my feet are roots out of the ground, and that really helps me to stay grounded. And I just try not to show fear.
That's actually
Wow.
good advice for everyone to take. And so, we're all excited tonight. And Justin has been so kind to agree to do free readings for us and a few callers. And if you like what you hear, you can contact Justin directly for a private reading. Justin, why don't you tell our listeners where they can actually go or if there's an email to schedule a private session with you?
Yeah, they can actually go to my website. It's justinchasemullins.com, and they can schedule a reading or just send me an email at justinchasemullins@gmail.com.
Well, great. So before we begin, what should Lucy and I and our callers need to have when you give our readings tonight?
Well, the best thing is I'll just need the person's name who I'm speaking with. If I want to do spirit contact, I like to have the person's age when they passed and their name and then their relationship to the person. That always helps.
Okay. All right. So I think Lucy is actually we're going to start with Justin giving myself and Lucy a reading just to sort of break the ice a little bit and get Justin's juices flowing. So I thought that what Lucy should go first. And I actually can't wait to see how many demons are inside you, Lucy.
Hey, it's not demons, it's medication. Okay, Justin, are you ready for my reading?
Oh,
I'm so
yeah,
excited. Okay, let's go.
Okay, so do you have any questions, or do you want any spirit contact, or how can I help you?
Actually, what I would like to know is, we've kind of touched on this a little bit before, and I know that I have a particular spirit that has been around me, and I just want to know, what does she want?
Yeah, Nilla Spirit, it is your grandmother, and I kind of sense to her just that heritage is very important, and some of the messages that I've been getting is just that she wants you just to go and to follow your path, and she really wants you to just to really go for it in the field, and to also try to have a connection to your heritage. I keep on just hearing go for it.
Okay. So basically, is there anything that needs to be done in relation to work? I mean, I know work has been stressing me out a lot. Anything that you're picking up that I might need to do, or are there any changes in store?
Well, with work, I kind of feel that there's more than one person there who's causing you problems. It's kind of in a dynamic of a couple of people, maybe about three. I'm kind of sensing a male and then maybe two females. And as far as work is concerned, I think that you're still going to be there for at least a year, possibly. But I see that that there is going to be some changes in a couple of years. I think that as far as the paranormal is concerned, and as far as just your radio show, I think that you can accomplish a lot, and you're going to have some good things that's going to happen down the road for you.
Excellent. Now, one thing I kind of just want to touch on, and I don't want to take from Anthony's reading, take time from that, but I have had the urge to go back to my tarot card reading and to kind of pursue that again. Is that a good idea? I mean, is grandmother there with me? Does she approve?
Yeah, but I'm kind of feeling that it's something that she would like for you to do is to explore just that path. As far as the card readings go, I think that she really wants you to open up and to accept having psychic abilities. I think that she really wants you to accept that and to embrace that. And I mean, I kind of sense that she is with you there every step of the way, and she kind of comes across as somebody who's just very impatient. She thinks that she knows a lot of things, in which she is a very wise woman, but she wants you to do things her way, and she's not very open for compromise.
Okay, that's good to know. Justin, thank you so much for that. I really, really, really do appreciate that. So now, can you do Anthony's reading? I'm really curious to see what kind of demons he has.
Actually, Lucy, what he was just saying actually kind of relates to you. Very impatient. Yeah, Justin, this is actually, this would be considered my first real reading. I had one done years ago. And as Lucy was describing earlier in the show about sort of those psychics that you really don't want to go to, that sort of say that if you've got a curse, you have to spend this amount of money. I actually ended up going to one of those, and I didn't spend any money, but I basically just walked right out. So I never took any sort of recognition to what that psychic had said. So this is considered to be my first real reading. So I'm open to anything. Whatever you see, either it be work or personal, or if you see spirits around me or anything, I'm open up to anything that you see.
Okay, great. Well, I am seeing this one image, and it involves something in your childhood. I just see just a small boy, and he's just playing. So I don't know if there's a spirit who's trying to come through. I just keep on seeing this image of a boy. And then something else. Did you ever have a loss sort of at a younger age of a female who was about your age or maybe a little bit younger?
No, nothing's coming to mind.
Okay.
Well, actually, I'm sorry, yes. Yeah, late teenager I was. I wasn't very young, but late teenager.
Yeah, because I'm seeing a woman. Her hair, to me, it appears a little bit brownish, and it comes down past her ears. It does touch her neck. I see a woman that's just kind of a fair complexion. And I kind of see that woman being around you.
Okay. Okay. Anything? Do you see anything in the future with my job, my work?
Well, with work, I'm not really getting a whole lot of information there. I do think that things are going to stay the same, and they're going to be very consistent.
Okay. All right, great. Do you see anything else?
I'm trying here. Somebody's trying to come through. And I'm not sure if this is related to you or a caller, or to somebody who's on a call, but I keep on seeing somebody that has blonde hair. I've seen him at a younger age, but sometimes spirits do appear to me younger. Did you have like an uncle or a grandfather even that had lighter hair?
I did not know my both grandfathers. They one passed before I was born, and then one passed when I was very, very young.
Okay. Was one of your grandfathers in the Navy, or did he do anything with boats or ships?
I believe so. Not 100% sure, but I believe yes. One of my grandfathers was in the Navy.
Okay, because I keep on seeing this image, and it's kind of funny, really, but I keep on seeing, like, the skipper off of Gilligan's Island. I see somebody with blonde hair who's a little bit heavier, and I get that he worked with boats or ships. I kind of feel that he was in the Navy. And I think that he does watch over you. That is somebody that's around you.
Okay. All right, great. All right. We're going to move on to our first caller. Is that okay with you, Justin?
Oh yeah, that is perfectly fine.
Okay, great. So our first caller, we have area code 440. I believe that's from Ohio. Hello, you are on the air. Please give us your name.
Hi, I am Kelly, and yes, I am from Ohio.
All righty. Yeah, what's your question?
I'm wondering if you see anything with me and Jay. We were very good friends. However, he always said that we were just friends, and he was always afraid of hurting me because we were living two different lifestyles. Well, now he's kind of coming back into my life, but he's been having to kind of change himself. So I've been kind of stepping away, and I'm not sure if there's anything in the future that's going to happen or if we're just meant to be friends forever.
Yeah, which I keep on just seeing this one image. It's just of two people who could be together, but there's always something there's always something in the way. To be honest, I don't believe that anything is going to come of that situation as far as a relationship goes. I don't really see that's in the cards. But that's a good thing, though, because I do think that in the summertime or maybe late spring that you're going to meet somebody.
Okay. So should I stop talking to Jay if he does contact me?
Well, if this was just me, I would keep things as a friendship. I don't really see just anything working out in the future. There's just I just keep on seeing this image of just two people apart, and I would just try to keep things at a friendship level, and I would try to keep my options open, because there is going to be a guy who's going to come for you in the summertime, or again the late spring. I see somebody having darker hair, and it's a little bit down to the eyes on one side and kind of combed over.
Mhm.
Wow,
Okay.
that's excellent.
And I think that I keep on feeling that he's going to be involved with school, so it's either going to be college on a graduate level, or he could even be a young teacher.
Okay.
Kelly,
and just
thank
one
you
more
so much for calling.
Okay, thank you.
Anthony, who do we have with next?
We have area code 520. I believe that is Arizona. Hello, you are on the air. You're with Justin.
Hi, good evening.
Hey, how are you?
Hi.
Hi. Good. My name is Jean, and you're right, I'm from Arizona.
All righty, and what's your question, Dean?
Well, whatever you see or whatever comes out to you, I will appreciate both. I have nothing in my it's just blank already in my mind right now, so whatever you just can pick up with me, and that's fine.
Okay, I keep on seeing a pair of children. Do you have any children?
No, I don't have any children yet.
Okay. Yeah, I keep on seeing two young boys. So there is a very good chance with me seeing that image that you're going to have some children in the future.
Oh, that's great. I like that.
And then I'm kind of feeling, has there been any problems with work recently?
Oh, yeah, it's just kind of like negativity around it. We just only get in transition from work, so just a little bit negativity surrounding.
I do feel that work is really, it's just kind of it's just kind of more of a negative spot in your life. That's something, at times it might even bring you down. I kind of think that your work situation is going to improve. I see that happening probably around about May, that there's going to be a shift in things to where work's going to be a lot more bearable.
Oh, okay. That's great. Well, that's the one thing that I've been hoping and praying, that everything is going to be changed. I know it's not a good transition from us, but, I'm hoping, just only hoping, because, I like the job, and I'm hoping that there's an improvement.
Yeah, I definitely sense that there is going to be just some more positivity that's going to come in the workplace. And there's going to be a change or a transition even, and it's going to happen around that time, and really just everything's going to become a whole lot lighter there for you.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That's great.
Thank you so much, darling. Thank you for calling.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Okay, how are you doing, Justin? Are you good?
Oh yeah, I'm doing great.
All right, great. I'm going to take the next caller, which is, let's see, who do we have here? Area code 209, I believe that is California. Hello, you are on the air with Justin.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Hi. This is Marjorie. I guess my question was, I was wondering, where do you see my relationship with Howard going, or eventually going?
Did you say a relationship?
Yeah, relationship with Howard.
Okay. To be honest, I'm seeing marriage there. I'm seeing that I'm definitely seeing the potential for long term, and I see that the situation it can lead to marriage. I'm not sure if things are going great right now, but I definitely feel that there is some long-term potential there.
Okay. Do you see when do you see when you think it'll move to the next level, or just because it feels like it's kind of going really slow right now? Do you see when things will pick up, I guess?
Well, I'm seeing this one image, and it's like steps, and I think that things are going to improve in steps, but it's going to take time. I believe that Howard, he might be very slow just to open up and to take the next step, but I do think that in his own time that he is going to open up a lot more.
Oh, okay. Okay, I guess. Can I ask just one other quick question? Do you see,
sure.
If I'll ever, because I used to stay with him, do you see that ever happening anytime, or this year or next, or I don't know?
Yeah, now as far as that goes, I see that as a possibility more towards the fall. The fall is just one of the things that is really is kind of stood out to me. I do believe that things I do believe that things will go kind of slowly, but they will pick up around the fall.
Okay. I guess that was my question. Thank you.
Hey, sure.
Thank you so much for calling, dear.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, great. So
Anthony, who do we have next?
We have area code 312. I believe that is your hometown, Lucy, Illinois. Hello, you were on the air with Justin.
Hi, it's Jennifer. I don't really have any dire big questions, except that I've been feeling like a spirit's been bothering me a lot lately, and I kind of want to figure out if it's it's a loved one, or this is a spirit out, how to kind of do me harm or something, because ever since I encountered the spirit, a lot of things have been going wrong.
Yeah, I definitely, I feel two things. Have you been having any health problems recently?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I feel that there's been some problems with your health ever since the spirit has kind of emerged, so to speak. I do feel that it is a family member, but the family member, they may have died under kind of harsh conditions. I feel that it's kind of, that the spirit is just kind of very angry and just a little bit restless and just kind of trying to get attention, but also the person wants some closure.
Oh, I think I know who it is. I never figured out that the person was angry. I thought they were at peace. Are they particularly angry at me, or just angry in general?
Well, I might have used the wrong word. It's just more of like an anxious feeling. I just kind of sense that there was just like a lot of pacing, and that some of the haunting, it might be kind of mischievous. I just kind of sense that there's just like a lot of just random activity just at certain times, but it all comes at once.
Hey, Justin,
Yeah.
Can I interject something right now? Is there anything that you can recommend to Jen that she might do that might help alleviate the situation?
Sure, of course. Now, in my experiences to help with the haunting, some of the things that I recommend is to try to get as much light in the home as possible. Try to light some white candles, and I even recommend the sage of the house and to do a cleansing.
Excellent.
Well, the thing is, yeah, we lived in this house for a long time. It just started impacting me, and he likes to mess with me when I'm sleeping.
Right, I know how that goes, and that's a very a common thing. A lot of spirits, they like to come around at night, and I keep on, feeling that this person, just kind of a mischievous person, even. In which at night, do you feel like just that you're being touched, even?
Yeah, or they're like holding me down while I'm sleeping, and then like in sleep paralysis almost.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had that same experience just whenever I was growing up. I'm kind of sensing that the spirit, it may be a male. I definitely, I feel like it's a male spirit. I keep on seeing shorter hair even, kind of lighter hair. And I see this person just trying to get attention. And, it comes off to me like it might be a family member. I'm not sure if it's a cousin even. But the person, they are trying to get attention. And they might even not be happy with the circumstances of their death. I'm not sure if there's a matter that's just unclosed. But the best thing would be to do a cleansing because the energy of the home is just really at a high level right now. And just doing a cleansing is going to lower just that level of energy to where things might be less intense.
Okay. Thank you.
You know what, Jen, if you need more information, I would recommend sending Justin an email, and then maybe you can discuss it further, or you can actually contact us through the Paranormal Review radio page, and we can put you in touch with Justin and kind of help you from there. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was just about to say that and stuff. You just feel free to contact me, and I'll love to help you out here.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much for calling, Jen.
Thanks, Lucy.
Thank you. Hey, Justin, are you doing okay? Can we take a couple more calls?
Sure, that's great.
Okay, I've got I've got three more callers on hold. So if you're on hold right now, we're going to get to you, and then I think that that will be it with Justin. So our next caller is area code 212. That is my hometown, New York, New York. Hello, you're on the air with Justin.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Hello. Oh, hi. Wonderful. I'm so glad you're taking my call. So nice to meet you.
Oh, hey, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Hi, who is it?
I'm sorry, I think my phone died and I picked up another extension. Is this any better?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. How can I help you?
Good. Okay. Hi. Well, you see, I'm in New York. I have a lot of relatives in the spirit world, so I was just wondering if anybody is coming through or whatever you pick up around me or any messages for this year or anything at all.
I do see a couple of people around you. If you would like to speak with a certain person, if you would give me a name, I can...
my mother... Do you need a first name? Needy?
Yes, please.
Or Nita. My grandmother was Frances. Grandfather Leo. My other grandparents were Ethel and Seymour.
Okay.
And more people, too.
And Anita, did she have shorter hair?
Yes. My mother, all the women did, yeah.
Yeah. I keep on seeing somebody that has short hair and just in the back, like, just part of the hair is sticking up a little bit.
What color is the hair? We can't tell.
It's kind of hard to tell. I believe it might be a little bit darker.
My mother had dark hair.
Yeah.
My mother had kind of like a black hair. My grandmother's hair was white when she passed.
Yeah. I do see this. Now, I see a person that is just a little bit hunched over with the cane even. I'm seeing that they had trouble walking and maybe some problems with the swelling of the feet. Has anybody in your family had that problem?
Yeah, my maternal grandmother, Frances, had that a little bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes her feet would get, swollen, and she would have to raise them and take the diuretics, and she was walking with a cane or a walker near the end.
Yeah, that's who I'm seeing, and I'm sensing that she did have some trouble with the feet. I'm seeing, a cane or somebody walking with what appears to be a walker. I kind of sense that she was in a great deal of pain, and she might have even had diabetes or gout. I'm not sure if that was one of her conditions, but her message is she's saying stay strong.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
Okay, yeah, her message is that she's saying to stay strong. I feel like there might be a situation in your life that has a lot of your focus at the moment.
Yes.
And she's really saying just to stay strong and to hang in there and not to give up.
Okay, that's good.
And have you had any health problems yourself?
Yes. Yes, I've, had a chronic problem for a very long time. And every year I say, well, I'm going to get over it now.
Yeah.
But I would like to clear it. I've been working on physical and emotional healing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, her message is, it's just to hang in there, and I kind of feel like there's going to be some relief coming your way, that some things will improve on the health level and on the emotional level, too.
Great.
Okay. Excellent.
Well,
thank you so much,
Ellen,
for calling.
Yes, thank you.
Hey, sure thing. Have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you, too. Blessings. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
All right. We've got two more callers, Justin. The next one is area code 219. Hello, you are on the air with Justin.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi. My name is actually Justin. I live in Lake County, Indiana. And my question is, I've been having a lot of activity in my house for a while now. And I was just wondering if you could pick up on anything, if anything is following me or watching me or looking over me or whatever.
Okay. And as far as your house is concerned, do you have an upstairs?
Yeah, it's 2 floors and a basement.
I kind of feel like some of the activity is upstairs, in which the person, I'm seeing a combination of things, which I'm seeing a person that could possibly be a relative, kind of like an aunt or a grandmother. I think that you do have somebody watching over you. I think that some of the activity, that it might actually be poltergeist related, which means that the energy of certain people in the house, it can cause a large amount of activity.
Poltergeist activity, really?
And I mean that can be triggered just by by like human emotion. That's very common if there's any females in the house or just young children who's just going through emotional things. Objects that can move. There can be like loud bangs and noises and.
There's actually. I was wondering if. Well, there was a death in the family in 2010, and it was actually it was my mother. We lost her to cancer,
right.
And I was just wondering if she's possibly around or if she, crossed over.
Well, that's a person who I was picking up on, I believe. She kind of looks at you, like a son, obviously. Now, she has a crossover, but she is watching you from the other side. And she sort of comes back and forth, and she's been around you a lot. And, no, I'm not sure if you've been having problems, kind of some emotional problems with the situation in your life even. But I feel like she's been around you at some more of the stressful times in your life.
Wow. Actually, it's kind of weird because it was the year before she died. We would be in my living room and we'd be watching TV, and we'd see orbs like behind the curtains and whatever over by the ceiling, and whenever we saw them, we couldn't hardly ever move, and one of the things, my mother used to be a little scared of it because of what I also, I'm a college student. I go to college for business management, but I also I run a paranormal investigation team on the side, and so she was always in, she'd always ask me about cases and stuff, and after she passed away, I went up into her room, and she was actually reading a book on how to communicate after you cross over, and she never even told me about it or anything, and after that happened, my room is in the basement, and occasionally I'll see an orb light up on the ceiling of my basement. It'll light up the whole basement, and it's just really weird because that didn't happen down in my room until after she had passed away.
Right, and I was about to actually say that I do feel that the basement, it could be a focal point as well. I kind of, now in the basement, is there like a washer and dryer by any chance?
There sure is.
Yeah, I kind of sense that the washer and dryer, it might be in the main back of the basement, kind of in the corner in your room. It might be when you first come down the stairs even. It's kind of in that
I'm looking
area.
right at it.
Yeah.
Do you see anything else in the basement?
Yeah, and this came up at first, and I didn't want to sound strange, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. I kind of feel that there's like a type of an entity, and it's a little bit mischievous. I don't feel that it's anything dark or negative, but it's just kind of like a force that just likes to just be a pester and to mess things up. Even I'm kind of gathering that he might make a mess of things.
Do you think it's something that could have possibly followed me from a case?
I do think that that is a very good possibility, and it's just kind of hanging around you. And my advice with that, since it's not a spirit, is just to tell them to leave and to try to set some ground rules, and to be very firm and to ask of the spirits to leave. That's probably the best way to get rid of those entities. I do feel that your mother is there too, but she has a crossover, but she does come back around from time to time, and she is watching over you every step of the day.
You know, Justin, I think he might benefit from calling you directly. So, you know, if you've got more recommendations for him, I think what you might want to do is give Justin a call directly, go through his website, send him an email so that he can further help you with the situation.
Right, absolutely. Well, thank you very much. This is actually the first reading I've ever had, and it's pretty impressive. I'm really impressed with what you can do. So.
Well,
Justin is awesome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Hey, thank you. You have a very nice night.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you.
Hey, sure thing. And have a nice night.
You too.
Justin, are you okay? Can we do another call?
Oh, yeah, I'm loving this.
Okay, excellent.
All right, great. Well, we have one last caller, and it is area code 661 from California. Hello, you are on the air with Justin.
Hi.
Hey, what's going on?
Hello.
Oh, good. I didn't know if a number would come through because I'm on Skype. So, hi, how are you?
Good.
Oh,
Hi,
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine, thanks. I have a question about a relationship, and actually this person has been, I feel like we've been communicating in the astral plane because there's stuff that's happened in my dreams, and I'm kind of wondering about what you have to say about that relationship.
Sure. What's the person's name, if you don't mind to tell me?
Adam.
Okay. I'm actually seeing that you all have been communicating in the astral plane. I do see that actually occurring. I think that there's a deep connection to where, like, you might even feel him a lot of times as far as just his emotions. I kind of gather that you can read him very well and that you can understand him very well, too.
Hello?
Yes, I'm still here.
Oh, gosh, I can hardly hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I was just saying that I really feel that you and him do have a connection, and it's very deep, and I kind of feel like you might have known him in a past life.
Yeah, I do feel that way, for sure. I agree.
And I mean, I kind of feel like that just your all's energies are just one and the same, and that you understand how he feels, and that there's just a really deep connection going on.
Okay. Well, we've been apart.
Okay.
So, you think that it's possible for reconnection?
I definitely do, and I think, I mean, just even at times when you're not with him, that you can really just kind of feel his emotions. I just kind of gather.
Yeah, well, I feel his energy. Yes, I feel his energy.
Yeah, just kind of gather that you can really feel what's going on with him, and that you all might be a part of it. You really do pick up on what's going on with him.
Interesting. Oh, wow. Thank you so much.
Hey,
Thank you for
calling.
calling.
Have a great night.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Justin, that was amazing. Thank you so much for doing this. We totally appreciate it, and you know what? It was so cool. It was so cool. Thank you for doing the readings for both Anthony and me, and thank you from our listeners.
Oh, it's been a great pleasure.
Okay, and you know what? For everybody out there, if you didn't call in and you've got a situation that you want to talk to Justin about, the website is www.justincasemullins.com. You can send him an email. You can contact him. You can get a full reading. Justin, I believe you've got an appearance coming up on Haunted Playground on LA Talk Radio. Is that correct? That's
yes,
on
I certainly
February 21st?
Yes. I'll be on his playground.
Okay. Anything else coming up that we need to look for?
Well, which I do have a couple of magazine articles with Visions Paramag, and that's a really great magazine. Everybody should check it out. I'm a writer for the Bell Spirit publication, and I have an article appearing next month. And I'm also writing with OM Times, and I should have an article out next month as well.
Excellent. Justin, I want to thank you again from both Anthony and me. This was awesome. This is absolutely awesome. Again, listeners, if you want to contact Justin, it's www.justincasemullins.com. Thank you so much, Justin.
Hey, sure thing. It's been my pleasure, guys. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you so much. We appreciate you coming on.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night. Good night, Justin.
Anthony, that was awesome. That was so cool.
That was great. And that was my first reading, too.
Well, I'm totally reassured you're not an ex-murderer.
And I was sure he was going to find some demons in you, but I guess not.
So, let's see. I think it's time that we need to go into the news.
I think so. Paranormal World News with your hosts, Anthony Agati and Lucy Leekreed.
Okay. Well, my first news story, my only news story tonight, is a very special one. And it is a press release from the Travel Channel. Travel Channel's hit series, Ghost Adventure, returns for a 6th season on Friday, March 9th at 9 p.m. This popular paranormal investigative team returns to unearth some of the world's most haunted locations. Okay, folks, here it is. The new season of Ghost Adventures is here. This story is dated February 8th, and it talks about Season 6. And yes, I did say Season 6 of the popular Travel Channel show is going to return on Friday, March 9th at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Zach, Nick, and Aaron are back, and this season the guys will be exploring some of the most haunted locations in America. They are going to visit spots that the GAC team has never visited before. Some of the locations that the guys are going to be investigating this season are going to include the Peabody Whitehead Mansion in Denver, Colorado. They'll be going to the Shanghai Tunnels in Portland, Oregon. And they're going to visit the family home of paranormal equipment inventor Gary Galka in East Granby, Connecticut, where the business is going to get personal as they help a family make contact with their dead daughter in a deeply personal story of love, loss, and a haunted house. Now, there's 7 new episodes this season, and each one starts with the tried and true, how they start with an in-depth profile of the location's haunted history. Once that story is told, it's on to the lockdown. Now, Ghost Adventures, amazingly, has continued to attract a huge audience for the travel channels. The guys have built a dedicated fan base that follows their every visit, their every tweet, and many are inspired to visit many of the destinations featured on the show. I know Anthony and I, we've done this. You know, we followed them. So this new season is going to kick off with the haunted Peabody Whitehead Mansion in Denver, Colorado. This building was built in 1889. The first owner, Dr. William Whitehead, has convinced the building. He was convinced the building was plagued by the spirits of hundreds of soldiers that he tried to save from his days as a surgeon for the Confederate Army during the United States Civil War. After his death, when the controversial Colorado Governor James Peabody moved into the mansion, things got worse. The governor was viewed as many by the enemy of the working man, and in 1904, the governor ordered state militia to break union strikes by the region's gold miners by brute force. This season, and for this episode, UFC fighter Brendan Schaub will be joining our boys at that Peabody Whitehead mansion in hopes to shed some light on the evil entities in order to learn more about the darkness that lies within. During this investigation in the basement, it's going to get personal when a spirit is going to call out Brendan by name. And then there's going to be a reveal of new evidence about an unsolved crime. This turn of event is going to trigger the involvement of the Denver Police Department, and they're currently reviewing the Ghost Adventures team evidence. I know I can't wait for this one.
Oh, that's actually, I think, the first time that the Ghost Adventure guys has actually had any sort of involvement with any police investigation, so that'll be pretty exciting.
Mm-hmm.
My one story, I actually have a story that comes out of the United Kingdom, and it actually goes along with the theme for tonight. It comes from the psychicnews.org.uk. And the title of it is Spirit World Intervention Guides London Doctor's Diagnosis. And in an exclusive interview with Spiritualist magazine Psychic News, a London doctor has told of his strong psychic impression that successfully diagnosed the condition of a young girl he had never met and prevented serious complications to her health. And a Belgian medium recounts how an invisible force saved her from the stricken Costa Concordia cruise liner. Their accounts suggest that unseen spiritual influences can sometimes play a vital role in our lives. Talking openly about the gradual development of his mediumistic abilities in the first of a two-part interview, Dr. Ian Rubinstein, a GP whose practice is in Enfield, North London, tells Psychic News editor Susan Farrow about a remarkable experience while at the gym where another of the regulars, Kathy, remarked that her granddaughter had swallowed a plastic pen top the previous day but now seemed fine. As she was telling me, I knew there was a problem, Dr. Rubinstein explained. There was no doubt in my mind I had to say something, and I'd never had that feeling before. Having voiced his concerns and spoken to the pediatric doctor on call, even though he had not even seen the girl, the child's mother was convinced she needed to arrange for her daughter to have a series of tests. They found nothing amiss. Nevertheless, she was admitted to Great Ormond Street Hospital, which specializes in treating children, and under general anesthetic, small barbs from the chewed pen were found embedded in her respiratory tract and were surgically removed. Where did his knowledge that something was wrong with the girl come from? I know what a psychic would say, he responds, but I veer towards the idea that maybe someone in the spirit world was trying to contact me. As a spiritualist and medium, Yvonne Adrain St. Paul's takes spirit communication for granted, but expecting the spirit world to intervene in a life-threatening situation was a totally new experience, and she lived to tell the tale to Psychic News readers. Yvonne and her husband Roger, who lived in Germany, were on board the cruise ship Costa Concordia when it struck a rock off the Italian coast on January 13th. The medium gives a graphic account of the devastating incident and the crew's lack of proper response to the emergency. Eventually, in the darkness and confusion, with the vessel almost on its side, the couple became separated. Roger made it safely into a lifeboat, but Yvonne found herself totally alone on deck 3 with water up to her knees. It was a desperate and frightening situation, and Yvonne admits she gave up hope. So she sent out thoughts to the spirits with whom she is in regular contact. Well, that's it, she told them. Where are you now? What happens next still astonishes her. There was nobody around me and no lifeboats in sight. Suddenly, I was grabbed from behind and lifted over the invisible railing, already underwater. By whom? Because there was no one there. But, oh wonder, there was a raft coming, and I was sort of thrown on top of it. The next thing I saw were 4 hands coming from underneath. They pulled me down into the boat. That's actually an amazing story, I believe.
That's a spooky story.
And actually, there's something that actually just came up, believe it or not, listeners, 5 minutes before we went on to the air tonight. And Lucy, you brought this to my attention. So why don't you bring forth this little piece of news that you just found.
Sure. I think everybody saw the episode of Ghost Hunters this week, and actually it wasn't the actual episode, it is the promo for next week that really caught my attention, and I think it caught the attention of everybody on the web. And basically what it alludes to is that Ghost Hunters is changing, and they'll never be the same again. Now, speculation is coming hard and fast as to what's going on, and it kind of centers around the fact that possibly one of the members of Ghost Hunters is leaving. There are several articles on the web which talk about which TAPS member is leaving Ghost Hunters. The main speculation is centering around Grant Wilson, that he may be leaving the famed duo, but no one knows for sure, and I guess we're not going to know until next week. But people are kind of like discussing and talking about it, and there have been a couple things that kind of point towards Grant leaving. One of the things is that there is an event coming up at the Spalding Inn, and in case you don't know, the Spalding Inn is the property in New Hampshire that's co-owned by both Jason and Grant, and the event actually does not feature Grant. So, like I said, personally, I think it could be Grant. I know, Anthony, you came up with your own theory that you thought maybe it might be Britt, but
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of speculation on Grant, and I think from the preview that was shown on Wednesday where everyone is bawling, crying, that they took that and the idea of that he wasn't mentioned in the Spalding Inn event that's going to be happening up soon, to make it seem as though he was the one that's leaving, and that's why he's not a part of the Spalding Inn event. But I don't know. I think if it was Grant leaving, I think we would have heard a lot more about it, and I think it would have been in the news a little bit more. It would have been pretty much all around online community and social community networks all over the place. I think it may be Britt Griffith leaving. I personally think it may be him leaving. I know he has expressed in the past a few issues that he's had with all the traveling and his family. But again, that's my guess. But I guess we'll have to tune in next week and see what the fortune holds for either of the hosts on that show.
Well, I certainly think that this next episode of Ghost Hunters is probably going to be one of the most highly rated shows of the Ghost Hunters history.
Well, you know what? This all could be just hype, and it could be just a ghost leaving the show, and that's it, and they're just trying to get ratings. Who knows?
I think it's just cool we get to see Steve Gonzalez cry again.
Again. All right, Lucy, I'm going to move on. All right, so this is the area where we promote and highlight fellow paranormal investigators from around the world. We've already mentioned groups from the West Coast, East Coast, and even a few from Canada. So why hasn't your group been mentioned on our show? What are you waiting for? Just send us an email at paranormalreviewradio@yahoo.com with my promo in the subject line. Be sure to include your group name, all the names of your members, and any interesting facts about your group or any of your investigations. We love to give back to the paranormal community. And in doing so, we hope that this helps get your group and your mission out in the public for everyone to notice. So tonight we actually have only one group to promote, and it is Sparrow. Sparrow Group, which is SPAERO, and it stands for Supernatural, Paranormal, and Entity Research Organization. They do have a Facebook page, Sparrow Paranormal. Their group members are Joseph Cross, who's the leader and exorcist, Clarice Johnson, who's the photographer and investigator, Adam Robe is the investigator and case manager, Corey Kane is an investigator, and Derek McKay is also an investigator. They began in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, doing cases at restaurants, churches, cemeteries, and private residents. And a couple of years ago, they moved the group to Parkersburg, West Virginia, being most of their members' hometown was there. And they're now currently looking into cases for spring and summer 2012. They do have EVPs that are caught at these places, and they can be found on their YouTube site, which is YouTube user Sparrow0000. And that is SPAERO 0000. And images of their gear and evidence can be found on their Facebook page, along with info and updates on upcoming cases.
Well, Anthony, I think that's it. We had another amazing show. Justin absolutely rocked, didn't he? I think we learned a lot tonight about ourselves and about the world of psychics and mediums, didn't we?
Yeah, this show was really great, and I do want to officially thank Justin for coming on tonight and doing a slew of readings for everybody. We hope we didn't drain him too much, but we appreciate him coming on and giving up his time to do some free readings for us and for our callers. So we want to just thank him officially, and maybe one day we'll have him come back, or you know what, again, if you guys want to reach out to him, JustinChaseMullins.com. You can read all about him and contact him through his website if you want to have if you were a caller and you want more of a reading from him or follow-up reading about what you talked about tonight, reach out to him on his website, or if you didn't get a chance to talk to him tonight, please reach out to him on his website at JustinChaseMullins.com.
Okay, guys, you know what? This was such a fun show to do. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Again, like Anthony said, if you want to contact Justin for a full reading, please go to the website. And I'm going to say it again, www.JustinChaseMullins.com, or you can actually go to our Facebook page, Paranormal Review Radio. We will have the link to his website there. While you're there, please let us know what you thought about tonight's show. You know what? We totally welcome your comments, your questions, your suggestions. You know what? This is your show. So please come on by and say hi. Anthony, thank you so much. Again, everything you do for the show. You know what? I appreciate you so, so much. Thank you to everyone out there listening. Your support means the world to us. We hope that you're going to join us next week as we review all there is to know about, are you ready? Bigfoot. It's going to be a wild one, so you need to be there. And if you've seen him, we want to hear from you. So on that note, thank you again for joining us. Have a paranormal week, everybody. Good night.
Good night.
Paranormal Review Radio.